so today we're going to be doing a little chit chat video because I really wanted to do like a summary of my second year of university because back on the 2nd of May I had my final exam for second year, so it's been quite a while now, and so I thought, you know, I would sit down, do a little summary of second year, because I think it's just quite nice to look back on for me, and also it might be interesting to some of you out there who are maybe looking at doing psychology or just generally interested in university life in general. So overall, I think I found that second year has felt like really different to first year. It just feels really different, and I think part of that is because first year is all about you're like living in a new city, you're living with new people, you're maybe doing a course that you've like never done before, and so it takes quite a while to really adjust to that. And so I think second year is a lot more focused on like the academic side, although you still have quite a bit of time to do like other things, like social things and stuff. So for me, I think I found that second year is all about balance, learning to balance doing university work and a social life and just generally, you know, being an adult, because being an adult is tough. It's real tough. Also, a big part of why I think it feels different is because I now live in a flat. I don't live on the university campus anymore, and I think sometimes like just being stuck on the campus all the time, you sort of just feel like you're at uni like all the time, because you basically are, and it's like you're in this little campus bubble, and when like you go home for the day and you don't live on campus, I think it's quite nice to just escape that and just not be in that environment. So now I'm going to move on to talking about the modules I did. So because I go to university in Scotland, we actually do like 2 other subjects alongside our main degree, and this really does depend like between like subjects and stuff, because obviously things like medicine and I don't know, things like that, they probably don't, I'm assuming they wouldn't do that. But for psychology we do. So the other modules I took were geography and politics, and I did them in first year as well, so it's basically just the same as first year. This whole system is really great because it means that if you get to the end of second year and you're like, I really don't like my main degree, but you've done these other modules and courses, you've done all the required things, it means that you could just easily switch, and I really like that flexibility because you wouldn't really get that anywhere else. And especially when you've never done a subject before. Like, I never did psychology before coming to uni, so I was slightly scared that I would hate it and that would be it and I would be miserable for the rest of my life. Yeah. But it's just really nice to have that little thing on the side, just knowing that if you don't like it, you can always choose something else. So I'm going to talk about psychology now. So our first module was called Understanding the Mind, so we covered topics such as learning, memory, perception, sensation, all sorts of stuff like that. So a big thing in psychology in second year is that it's a lot more focused on statistics now. So we had stats lectures every 2 weeks, I think it was, and it was also a lot more involved in the coursework, and this is nice because it just builds you up to the level that you really need to be, because nobody likes stats, like just nobody likes it. And so I think just being exposed to it from like first year and then gradually into second year is just a really great way. It still sucks, but you gotta do it, so what can you do? And part of me did enjoy this module, but I did find it a lot more challenging than the second semester one, which I'll be going on to talk about in a minute. I did get A's in all my coursework, which I was really proud of because I put a lot of effort into that. And although I didn't like the module very much, I got A's in my coursework, so that's great. But also one thing which was different about psychology in the exams this year is that we had like multiple choice tests on the computer, which I really don't like. And then we also had like an essay component, so you had like, I think it's like 5 essays or something you get to choose from, and you do 3, and so you had to like type them up on the computer, which I found really strange. I was just like, what do I do? So that was really strange, and the essay part was, it just didn't really go well in the first semester. I was like, what is this? And I think I didn't really revise enough for like the essay section, because revising for a multiple choice exam and then revising for like essays I think is very different, and you focus like your knowledge a lot more. So I know when I do like essays I will focus more on like writing essay plans and stuff, and just like generally just it's just a very different way of learning, I think. So I definitely learnt my lesson to build on like my essay writing skills, like exam technique for psychology, a lot more. In second semester the module was called Individual Development, and in general I really liked this module. I just found it really interesting, and I liked how it just sort of built up, and it had like, it continued, and it started looking at like how infants develop. So we looked at their cognitive development, we looked at Piaget's stages, and we like compared them and critiqued them, and then it builds it up. So then we looked at language development, social development, so like attachment and stuff. And then we went on to mental health and aging, which I found really, really interesting. I found mental health things like really interesting, so it was really good to like sit and finally do that. Again, we covered stats because, you know, that's an important part. I did find the stats a little bit easier than the first semester, so that's great. So the coursework involved a group presentation, which I was dreading, but it didn't actually go as bad as I thought it would, because these group presentations are just they're not fun. They're not fun. But it didn't go bad. We got, I can't remember what we got, I think we got an A or something, which is really good, and all the people in my group were really nice, and everyone just did their work, and it was a very good group, so I was like, yay! The second part of the coursework was doing a report, and we'd never actually done like a full report before, so it was a little bit, you know, a little bit scary, but we did it. I did it, yay! I didn't get the mark I sort of expected to get, considering the amount of work I put into it, but it's uni, you sort of like, you never really know what you're going to get, I think, sometimes. But I did get so much like really great detailed feedback that I didn't, like, I'd never had, like in psychology, I never had like that detailed feedback before. So I think that's really going to help me when I go to do another report. So as I said, I also did geography and politics. So I'll go on to talk a little bit about geography. So our first semester was all on like human geography, and I did actually really enjoy this I keep trying to say semester, but it's not semester, it's module. I actually really enjoyed it. I ended up getting an A, and I didn't expect that at all, but I just found the content quite interesting and engaging. So it covered things such as like cultural, political, and what was it? I don't know what else, but it was consisting mainly of like cultural geography and stuff, and I just found that really interesting. The exam was just written essays again, which we all love, we love that. Second semester is generally like where it went downhill from geography. Like I was just like, no. So I went to like the first lecture, and I was literally just like, what is this? Like, if it's the first lecture and I already don't know what is going on, like, that's gonna be great, that's gonna be great. And it didn't really improve, to be honest. So the second semester was all about physical geography, so it was geomorphology and hydrology, which honestly I didn't like. I couldn't like relate to the material like you could in like human geography and stuff, and you just have to learn like a lot of terminology. And I think just generally like how you learn the physical geography stuff is a lot different to human geography. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to know all these processes and like landforms and diagrams and all that sort of stuff. The exam didn't really go too well, to be honest, not gonna lie, but hopefully I passed, you know, aiming for that 40%, yay. So my last option was politics, and generally I just don't really like politics at all, to be honest. I do wish that I did something else, but hey, I only really took it because I did modern studies in sixth year, and I loved modern studies. Like, modern studies, that was great. That was a great time. Wish we could go back to those times. So the first module was on comparative politics, and honestly I just didn't find the module engaging at all. We looked at Russia and Spain, and because there was no exam, it was just all like your essays. And so basically once you'd done your essays, that was like it. And so I found that a little bit strange. I just found that strange, I don't know, but I just didn't like it. The second semester's module was on international relations, and this module was slightly better. You were covering like theories and stuff, and then you go on to like actual things like globalization. I don't know what else. Just doesn't really interest me, to be honest. But I did enjoy that one a lot more than the one in first semester, so that's fun, yay. So I want to briefly talk about like the social aspects of university. So I'm going to first of all talk about societies. Now, one of my goals for this semester was to like get involved more in societies, because I didn't do that at all in first year. In first year I went to the psychology society, but we just like, you didn't really do very much. And again, I just feel like societies are a little bit like, they're not really what I expected them to be. I think it depends on the society and your interests, but the ones that I were in, they just didn't really like do enough like regular things. I did join the mental health society, and I like went to the first meeting, but then after that was literally like nothing about it, so I was like, that's cool, that's cool. That's just a great time. I also was in the psychology society, which I'll probably always be in because they do like academic talks. They also do like quiz nights and stuff, and like the main event that everyone loves is Gaudi night, and I did go to that but I just didn't enjoy it very much at all, to be honest, so probably won't be going to that again. I just don't like that. I'd just rather be in my bed watching Netflix, to be honest. So in the first week of the semester I did go to like the yoga society, which I found really great because I'd never done yoga before, and so it was really great to have like a taster of I can't talk. It was great to have a taster of it. But in the end I didn't end up going because I at the time had a gym membership, and I was like, I could go to the gym and it'll be like a lot cheaper because you had to pay like, I think it was like £5 or £4 for each yoga session you went to, and over time I think that builds up a lot, especially if you have a gym membership on the side as well. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. In the end I didn't actually end up going to the gym. However, I have been starting to go to that doesn't make any sense. I've started going to the gym again, and that's hopefully something I'm going to try and keep up next year. The main reason why I didn't really enjoy the gym very much was because I didn't really like the gym I was going to. Like, at peak times it would get very busy, which just doesn't make me want to go at all. I just hate that. I also didn't really have like a routine. I didn't know a lot about like fitnessy type things, whereas now I've like looked at videos on YouTube. I feel a lot more familiar with it now, and hopefully I'm gonna keep it up. Yay! I think it's just really nice to like go to the gym or something, because when you're studying all day you're just like sitting around. I find it's just really nice. It's like very stress relieving as well, just to go and do something different and like focus on something other than university, because I think sometimes it can be like very easy just to like bog yourself down with that, and it's just not a fun time. So do something, like go to the gym. So I want to talk briefly about some goals that I have for next year, because I think it's really important to just reflect and think about how the past year has been. So in general, next year I'm going to my third year, which is really scary. Like, why? University just goes like so quickly. It's just, I don't understand. It's just so next year is really where I have to put in like the real work, because this is where it counts towards my real degree. First and second year haven't counted. You basically just have to pass. You have to get like 40% and you're all good. Whereas in third and fourth year it actually counts, which is really scary. So third year it's 40%. So yeah, you know, have to put that work in next year, you know, gotta get on the work. Another thing I really want to focus on is just like managing stress a lot better, because I just stressed myself out like way too much, and so I really want to focus on like managing that a lot more, and I think I've really learned like how to do that. So just going to the gym, eating better. One thing where I really fell through last semester was that I didn't plan very well. I didn't really use my planner at all. And I've already found my planner for third year, which is honestly making me quite excited to go back to third year, because I just really I want to use this planner. But I just didn't end up using my planner. I didn't really plan my time out and like schedule things in, and I think that really that can be quite stressful, and it's also not really great for organisation. I do consider myself to be quite an organised person, but that's just where I fell a bit. I didn't like my planner. I didn't really find a way of like organisation that I enjoyed. And so I think I've really learnt my lesson, and I'm going to improve on that next year. I'm also going to switch up like my notes in my folders and stuff, because I was using my iPad for the second semester, but I found that the organisation on it I just didn't like very much, and I really like just having like a physical folder and like flicking through my pages and stuff. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to like print out my notes, which does involve me probably having to buy a printer, because there's no way I'm paying for like the uni colour printing cost, because it's literally like 40p a page, which is just, that's not cool. So I'm probably gonna have to do that next year, which is exciting, because I feel like if you have an iPad and you make these very colourful notes, you just can't go printing it out in black and white. Like, you can't do that. I also want to talk about housing, because I think housing is a very important and big part of university life, and so I'm gonna briefly talk about this. I really liked staying in halls. I had a really good experience, and so I was a little bit nervous about moving into a flat. It is a little bit weird at first, however I've actually enjoyed it a lot more, and my room feels really homely. I've been able to like customise it a lot more than you would in halls. The big thing is it's so much cheaper, which is just, oh, it's so good. Because like literally the price of halls actually just thinking about that pained me. Like, why? Just why? And it was great living in halls, but I don't think it was worth £600 or whatever it was. Another thing is that you sort of feel you feel a little bit more independent, you have this independence a little bit more, and it's quite nice. I really like that I've been able to like customise my room a lot more, and I think the main thing is I do most of my work in the library now, so it means that when I come home, like, I'm not thinking about work, and it's sort of just like my own personal space where I'm sort of free from university. And so I think that's really nice, because I sort of found that quite difficult in first year, because everything's like so close together and you're just constantly at uni. So that is something, I think probably the main thing I really like. The one thing I probably miss is the internet, and just, I don't know. But it's also great because it encourages you to just walk a bit more. So I think when you live on campus, it's just like, just walk right here and that's it. So yay. So that was it for my summary of second year. I really hope that you all enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all again for another video soon. Bye!